Make a Path presents Let's Talk. Welcome to Make a Path Presents. My name is Ronnie Hayes, and today we're going to talk about Jon Bernthal being cast for Season 2 of DareDevil on Netflix, playing one of my all-time favorite comic book characters, the Punisher. I love the Punisher. I thought almost everybody dropped the ball when it came to the Punisher. It seems like there's a disconnect between the character of the Punisher and the audience. It's like they say, okay, let's make this really emotional origin story with his entire family being wiped out, and then after that we'll just make him a robot that kills bad guys. That's pretty good, right? Okay, run with that. Some of the Punisher storylines get so ridiculous, it's like they don't even try. Some of it's even comical, man. Anyway, so Jon Bernthal, and listen, this is what I'm talking about. I always talk about actors that take a gig on The Walking Dead, and I say, listen, it will create fans for life. Look at what it did to Norman Reedus. And what I mean by that is Jon Bernthal. Look at him. I was introduced to that actor through The Walking Dead. I never even seen or heard of him before. After The Walking Dead, after Season 2, I was a fan for life. He was in The Wolf of Wall Street. Well, I'm a huge Leonardo DiCaprio fan, but I'm watching that anyway. He was in Fury. Not really interested in it, but I'll watch it anyway. You know what I'm saying? I'm a fan for life because he's a talented actor. So when I got the news that he was being cast for the Punisher, I actually sat back. I didn't jump for joy right away. I sat back kind of at odds. I was kind of conflicted because here's an actor that I'm gonna support 100% in everything he does because he's a great actor. I really enjoy the guy. He's got some charisma, and you can tell that he puts 100% into what he's doing. I was conflicted because I never would have chosen for casting. He would have been the last on my list, even though he was one of the first people I would have known, because he's a name that's very relevant in my memory bank, as far as actors come. And I was like, man, why would you not ever think about him being up for the role of the Punisher? It just didn't click with me. And then after a few days about thinking about this, I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I'm all in. I have no negative things to say. He's not your normal box jaw, big bulking monster of a man, Punisher. He doesn't have that type of look, but who cares? You know what I mean? If you could take an actor that's so talented, stick his ass in the gym, put some muscle on him, and we're good to go. And that's something I do hope they do. I do hope that they say, alright, listen, you do need to bulk up for this role, because I think that is important for the Punisher character. But I am definitely super excited to see the Punisher come out. I had such a deep love for the Punisher character. I did this thing when I got into screenwriting. I said, you know what, I want to practice screenwriting, so I'm going to take franchises and I'm going to take movies or whatever that I feel need to be reborn again or rebooted or remake, and I want to do this as a way to hone my craft, so to speak. So I took Friday the 13th. I took the Punisher. The Punisher was a baby. I felt like I had something very special, and what I did is I wrote a script. It was a trilogy. The very first movie was Castle's Revenge, and that was going to be my ultimate Punisher screenplay. And it started out as just practicing, and the idea for the Punisher is it would open up in a very, I want to say an artistic style, and it would be in the mountains somewhere with some snow. You would follow a blood trail, the camera would, from this big beautiful mansion in the snowy woods, and it would lead out to a little walkway that would go to a security cabin in the backyards of that mansion there. And then there's this character, like a mob boss looking guy. He walks off in his bathrobe. It's still early morning. He goes into the security cabin with a gunshot wound. I want to shorten this up a bit, but he sits down by a fireplace. Everyone in the security cabin is dead. And this is important because later on they show how the Punisher did it. But the Punisher walks in. First you hear the snow crunching, and I thought this would be an awesome visual. And this is something that I'd want them to leave out of the trailer. Don't ever show this. But you hear the snow crunching, and the shadow starts to fill up the doorway there, and in walks the Punisher, Frank Castle. But he's not in the normal suit. What you see him in is this white trench coat, white pants with a black skull. And that was to represent this is a reboot or a rebirth of the Punisher. This is something completely different. And that wasn't a new outfit. It was just for that one mission the Punisher went on to kill this man. So he walks in, And the mafia boss starts, saying whatever you can to get out of it. I forget the script. It's been years since I even looked at this thing. Anyway, and then a little girl walks in a beautiful Sunday outfit dress, and she's yelling, "Daddy, Daddy," and Punisher turns around, and all of a sudden his stone-cold glare softens a little bit. She's scolding him about how she told him he can't do that anymore. You can't kill these guys anymore. She doesn't like it, and it's not good for him. It's not fair, it's not right, there's something wrong with it. So the Punisher kneels down, and it's hard for him to get the right words out, and she just comes out with, "Why couldn't you save us?" And then you see blood starting to soak up into her Sunday dress around where her chest is, and he puts his hand on her chest immediately, and he holds her and he hugs her, and now he really doesn't know what to say. It's like he's hyperventilating, and he just starts to mumble softly, "No, no, no." And then you cut back to the mafia boss, and he's looking over at the Punisher, kneeling down, talking to no one. He's losing his shit. So the Punisher gets up, he turns around, there's no little girl there. Like, this is a man who's haunted, by the death of his family. And then he comes up to the mafia boss, and the mafia boss is like, "I could be an innocent man, you don't even know who you're killing," this, that, and the third. But after all is said and done, the Punisher basically lifts his shotgun and blows the guy's stomach through his back, and all his guts and pieces of the chair even just burst into the fireplace that's directly behind the gangster, and the guy dies in his bathrobe. But when everything bursts into the fireplace, that's when the fireplace kind of gets pushed out and sparks and everything like that, and blood is on the wall a little bit. It all blows up, and that's when we get the title card, Castle's Revenge. I thought that was a pretty cool, nice touch. I mean, you're not supposed to put shit like that in scripts, but that was something I made notes of. I mean, again, it was supposed to be practice for doing screenplays and shit like that, and the idea the first one would follow the Punisher. There was a couple things I was playing with, a couple ideas where back when he was doing the Afghan missions or whatever it was, because this was supposed to be a more modern take on the Punisher, not the old Vietnam take back in the day, but his group that he ran with, they spray painted skulls on their bulletproof vests. So there was actually 6 or 7 guys in his group that had the Punisher outfit. You know what I mean? And eventually throughout the storyline, those guys in the original draft were hunted down and killed, and Frank Castle was one of the last ones left. It still kept the original storyline, but this was my original take on how he got that skull on his chest. You know what I'm saying? So that all tied in, but again, that was the trilogy I had planned out to practice screenwriting, and basically it went Castle's Revenge was the very first one. He doesn't become the Punisher until the end of Castle's Revenge. The second one would be the Punisher, and then I had some other ideas I was practicing for the third installment. And I was doing a Spider-Man crossover idea, and I was trying to take this seriously as if I was really given the task at rebooting the franchise, as if like my entire career rided on this. So I took it seriously, and it was great practice. I learned a lot from that. From that, I went and wrote a Jason Voorhees reboot, and that actually won in a competition, and I'm actually very proud of that one. That one is creepy and just downright disturbing. I would love to share that with you guys. If you guys are interested, I'd like to make a new set of videos called Matt Makes, and I'll give you my ideas at how I would reboot a franchise. But leave your comments on Daredevil Season 2, John Bernthal being the Punisher. I'm excited for it. Check out my review for Daredevil Season 1. I love the idea. Hands down, love the idea. Like I said, I was in shock for the first day or two, but after I got over that shock, and I don't even know what caused it. It was, I don't know, it was something that I was not prepared for. I was like, whoa, really? I couldn't see that. But now I'm all in. 100% I support this casting. 100%. Hit the gym, Johnny. Johnny, be good. Other than that, I think it's perfect. Guys, opinions down in the comment box. I'm done talking. It's your turn.
Subscribe now.